I've highlighted all of the purple, and then I've highlighted all of the bones. Even though I did start with all of the brown orangey carapace, I think I need to make sure that we add a little bit more of an extra layer to it. Because at the moment, I wasn't planning on taking it this far, I guess, on the purple bits, but then I highlighted a little bit further than I originally intended. At the moment, the brown carapace looks a little bit less exciting than the purple stuff. Especially if we look at, like, for example, that shoulder. That shoulder I highlighted all the way up. This part over here. To like a, almost like a white. It's like an ivory. I don't know if we want to do that far, or if you want to go that far. But I do think we need to go a little bit further still. So I'm gonna put a bit more of this cracked brown, which is what I used for the edge highlight on the palette. Right over here. And then I need to also make sure that we get a bit more of... Where is it? Where did my paint go? Eric Stone. No, I'm looking for Screaming Skull. Did I put it back on my palette? No, it's right over here. It's hiding. All right, I'll put a little bit of that down as well. So currently, the brightest highlights on all of the carapace is that color. And I think I'm gonna do a bit of a mix between these two. And probably add some tiny little dots of the pure off-white as well. We don't really need a ton of this. But we can go a little bit brighter than what we have at the moment. So again, I want to think about the upwards facing areas. The parts that would be naturally catching the most light. So that would be especially the sections over here. But also, for example, the ridge on the face here. So we'll start there, which is the riskiest part. Let's try to follow the edge of the carapace and basically try to stay within the line that I painted previously. So I painted this cracked brown line. Try to make sure that I stay within that same general region. A little bit of a stipple is nice sometimes. Doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, especially on carapace. It's gotta look like Lenny has been to war, or I mean Lester. Is Lenny just short for Lester? I thought it was Lenny the Ling, but maybe it's actually Lester the Ling. Like maybe his friends call him Lenny, but his mom calls him Lester. Brenda, that's his mom, obviously. Okay. So that's the orangey bit. Compared to the carapace pieces behind it, it is far more extreme now. Is that good or bad? It's gonna make the mini pop more, I can tell you that much. I think it's good. I'm gonna keep going. There's some pretty thin but sharp lines sculpted onto the actual model, which are the most obvious candidates for these highlights. I'm gonna use the side of the brush wherever I can. So we can just sort of run it past the edge. Okay. Let's go to the other side shoulder. Or I guess it's not a shoulder, whatever this part is. Good enough. Let's go to the little arm pieces over here. I was planning on painting this entire mini a little quicker than I am now, guys. But once I start, I can't stop, okay? Like, I start and I think, ooh, this looks good. What if I just do a little bit of a better job still? What if I just keep doing a little bit of a better job? How far can we take it? This is just my natural thing, okay, with painting. It's fun. I always want to try and paint a mini as good as I can. I don't want to be too... Like, I don't want to spend 20 hours on one mini here. But I could. I think on this particular one, we are maybe 5 hours. Like, I think we're coming up on 5 hours. I think I'll finish this one in about 5 hours. Right now, we're at like 4. Maybe a little less. Don't really know exactly how long, but something like that. 5 hours per mini. Reasonable. We'll finish the swarm in about, yeah, another 200 hours or so. $200, or what some of you call one Factorio run. This might be excellent content to be watching, actually, alongside playing Factorio. Yo! Thank you, Yugian. Appreciate that. Okay. I'll make sure I do mirror it on the other side as well before I go too far down on one side. Okay. Now real quick, I'm actually gonna... This is gonna take a while to dry. I'm gonna apply a bit of a shade to the base. Also gives my eyes a second, I guess, to refocus. I'm gonna do a little bit more of the same shade that I already used earlier, the Agrax again. So this is just gonna go all over the base, which I think will make it look a little bit, it'll add a little bit more depth. I'm gonna do this not just on the dirt. This is gonna be before highlighting the base. We're also gonna do this all over the rocks and the creep tumor. These paints do take a while to dry, so it's better for me to have it fully be dry before we start highlighting any of this. There we go. What's going on, Infested Zerg? What's up, Alidar? Hello, Brusick. Thank you to dogs, mounts.
Lester.
Thank you very much. No, this is Lester. My name is Loco. Wait a second. You think I am Lester? Does that make you Sarge? Okay, I don't know how this works anymore. I thought the Zergling was named Lester. Only downside of the creepy bit that he's standing on is that I can't really paint it. Because it is covered by the mini. Okay, we'll let that dry. Gives me a sec here to go back then to the actual carapace. Wasn't quite done yet here at the bottom. Okay. So mixing in the off-white desaturates the scales a bunch, right? Like it desaturates the orange, which I think does look better. It makes it less orangey, more brown. Okay. Onwards we go. I'm also highlighting some of the purple details here with the orange, which may look a little bit funky, but I think it does make sense. These colors are supposed to kind of mix and match. So mixing them in each other probably will make it look better in the long run. I think. You finally are done with the waifu character story for the for the world quest? Oh god. Is this Genshin? This sounds like Genshin to me. Look, I know Genshin just added windmills to appeal to Dutch people, but they won't get me, okay? They did this just to appeal to Dutch people, I know it. But I will not be playing the game just because of that windmill now, okay? I don't want, no. If it adds wooden shoes and bicycles, okay, I may have to install the game. But until that point, I think I'll be safe. I am not so easily convinced. I am strong. Strong and powerful against anime women. Okay. Whoa, Brusik, you talked to a girl? What the hell, man? What happened? Did she say anything back? She did? She's pretty? What the hell? That's crazy. Okay. Oh, good, man. Okay, you apply something on the figure before painting it. I have a full video series going up on the More Loco YouTube channel of exactly how I'm painting this. So if you want to see it all, it will be up on youtube.com/moreloco.
I haven't been on Twitch in a long time. Hope everyone's doing well here.
Hey, thank you very much, More Pylons. Appreciate the support, dude. Thank you very much. Welcome back. What was I saying? Oh, right. I did add a primer. Yes, I did add a primer to the mini.
Why are the Protoss so famous? Because they have a lot of stalkers.
Okay. Okay, buddy. All right. Thank you, peas and carrots. Dude, I think this color like this extra highlight definitely makes it so much better. Yup. Yeah. Way better. Need a little bit more paint. We need more highlighting. Yeah, there's 24 Zerglings in the starter set. For now, I'm planning on painting 4. Maybe I'll paint a roach or something in between, I don't know. Okay. Any highlights over here too? Technically, there shouldn't be much of a highlight at the bottom of that, but it will look cool. Getting there. Can hardly complain. Let's go to the other side. Same thing here. Risik, you do know that having a girlfriend, right, or talking to girls in general is going to cut into your gaming time. Are you aware of this? Generally speaking, that means less time spent on the internet. Tread carefully. Unless she's also a gamer. Even then. Now you're forced to play Stardew Valley co-op, okay? You might even experience happiness. Ugh. Is a little bit too bright over here. Gonna need some tiny dots. Over the little overspill of purple. Thank you, Araskun. Yeah, this is one of the new StarCraft minis, Utgard. It is coming along quite well. Okay, obviously that's going to be leading down. If it's leading down, it shouldn't be too bright. Maybe we can add even a little bit of shading over here too. Send out this little splotch that I made in the past. Decent, decent. Up on the arm we go, or whatever this little part over here is called. It's got a shoulder protection thingy. It's got a bonus spike. Hey, thank you, Tempest. Take care. Okay. Yeah, the brighter carapace is popping, man. Woo. Okay, still have to do the arms. The tallest, highest up arms. It is Brusik, yeah. Little highlights there. Obviously, not too many because most of this doesn't hit the sun. Piece over here does, though. I'm hoping I'm keeping it in the frame, by the way, today. I am quite zoomed in with the lens. It's very easy for me to accidentally move out of the frame, but I haven't seen anybody shout at me in the chat, so I guess it's fine. Normally you guys don't miss out on an opportunity to shout at me, you know? You have seen a lot of my fingernails today? Wait, as in like only my fingernails? Gas prices are coming down? Yo, Brusik. Incredible. I want to say more, but I shouldn't. No, wait, no. We're not doing politics. Today is not a political stream. I heard Asmongold got banned though, so maybe this is my opportunity, you know? Okay. Yeah, I don't think my political opinions are going to be that similar to Asmongold's, but still, you know? This is my opportunity. I gotta go with the flow that's been given. There's a gap in the market, okay? And everybody knows what the internet truly needs is more American politics content creators. There's not enough. No, I do talk politics every once in a while, but the thing is, the internet is already full of politics. And I don't think we really need me. People do ask my opinion on American politics all the time, though, which I do find quite interesting. Because I, believe it or not, I'm not American. I've never lived in America. Not even remotely close. I've only ever lived in the Netherlands. People do ask my opinion. I feel like many of my opinions, though, are guessable. Like, if you've watched enough stuff... Okay, outside of this little arm. Okay, 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 okay. I think that's all of the dark carapace also highlighted now. I can kind of take it one notch further in like the absolute brightest spots. Yo!
No politic talk needed. Emperor Mengsk is eternal.
That's true. Emperor Mengsk did nothing wrong. Everybody knows. Emperor Mengsk is a good guy. Lovely dude. I mean the old Mengsk, not the new dude. Okay, the old one. So if you don't like that guy, you're basically saying you don't like Donnie Vermillion. And everybody loves Donnie Vermillion. Checkmate. Yeah, Valerian? I don't know about that, dude. Nepotism in the Kuprulu sector, man. Disgusting, really. Oh, okay. Okay. I did an extra little around the rim. I think I'm gonna do some tiny, very bright highlights. Not quite pure. Like not quite pure. What's this color called? Screaming Skull? But very close to it. So this is the absolute brightest highlight I want to do on the brown carapace. Just like the little tiny marks. Sharpest locations, I suppose. Use this to kind of draw a bit more attention to the face, for example. The brighter you go, the sharper it will look. Obviously, only if you actually do it very specifically. And only in the areas where it actually makes sense for the light to catch. Okay. Holding your breath while painting is one of the builds. You do have to remember to breathe sometimes. Just don't breathe, it's okay. Gotta work on your VO2 max in order to paint Warhammer minis, or StarCraft 2 miniatures, or any of those sorts of things. It's the most upward-facing section over here, even though I feel like these joints don't really need a lot of highlights. As color variety goes, it's probably good to add a bit. You don't think that's how VO2 Max works? Oh, dang it. I mean, it's all about using oxygen efficiently, right? Okay. Coming along, coming along. I think it's pretty much done, guys. We just gotta do the base. We just gotta do the base. Yeah, let's have a little look around. Is there anything else that I really want to do? The mini itself is looking pretty darn nice. Very pleased with how this has turned out so far. Yeah, let's continue just doing a bit more of the base. Now, there is this little creep section over here on the base that I don't really know exactly how I'm gonna paint. I guess I'll just use the same colors that I already have on my palette, but it's a little bit annoying, because I can't really reach it. The sections underneath, at least, are all very well hidden. Thank you, Kiki. And Darian, are you gonna paint any StarCraft? I would love to see a high-end miniature nerd, like a top-of-the-line grandmaster, stay with StarCraft terminology, give this sort of thing a try. I mean, you paint a lot of Eldar. Protoss are basically Eldar. Hey, what's going on, Henner? I have definitely painted quite a bit of Warhammer, yeah. My god, how am I gonna paint this shit? Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna try and use the edge of the brush and just hit whatever we can hit, while also simultaneously trying to dodge the Zergling. I think this is the only reliable build order I have. Just to get a little bit in there. Just a little bit in there. I have the Zerg and Terran starter set. That's what I've got. That's what it says on the box. It was sent to me by Archon Studio, so it's a big shout out to them. I was thinking of buying it myself, but oh no, dude! Don't worry about messing up your paint jobs. Like honestly, the thing about painting is that the only way to get better is by painting. So like you're going to make some mistakes, but they're all very fixable. I know it's very easy to like decide not to paint minis or like do anything in life, really, because you can mess things up, but I don't think that's a good idea, man. You gotta do things. There's no mistakes, exactly. There's only happy accidents. It's honestly very good advice. You can always just add more paint on it. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of like a dry-ish brush, although I'm not gonna use an actual dry brush, nor is my brush going to be fully dry. But the technique is called dry brushing, okay? I'm gonna do a little bit of semi-dry brushing all over the dirt. With some Carrick stone. Wipe most of it off. And try to just sort of hit the edges of all of the dirt bits. What I've found with dry brushing is that the best way to make dry brushing look better is to not have a fully dry brush. This is insane. Having a 100% dry brush does not make it look nicer. It's basically trying to touch up any of the little sections here. Any of the little dirt details. Failure is the mark of life well lived. In turn, the only way to live without failure is to be of no use to anyone. Wit in the Stormlight Archive. Wit. Wit is a bit of a legend. I love that character so much. Yeah, so we've caught a little bit of the highest area only, which is sweet. I do have to highlight the rocks a bit too. So I think we are gonna need one more color. Because I need like a grayish color for the rocks, right? I've already base coated it, but we need something a little bit brighter. Good old Administratum Gray should do. You just ordered the first 3 books of the Stormlight Archive yesterday? Holy crap, dude. You know how big these books are, right? These books are so big. You just went straight in. I will say, they're all absolutely amazing. I am currently reading book 5 of the Stormlight Archive. And it's incredible, man. It's, yeah, it's very good. It's very good. The Way of Kings is incredible. I think book 2 is even better. Book 3 is also, yeah, no, dude, the whole series is good. Yeah, no, I'm almost a little jealous. I kind of wish I could forget the story. Oathbringer is really nice as well. I would say book 2 is probably the best in the series. my opinion. AKA everybody's opinion, because my opinion is perfect. Right? Everybody says it. I accidentally didn't start at the beginning when I started the Stormlight Archive. My book glitched and dropped me in the middle of the Great Shell hunt. Dang, there's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of those in the Way of Kings. Couple of very important ones, man. God, it's such a good series. Yeah, I can only recommend the Stormlight Archive if you are in for a slow burner of a series. Like, it is epic fantasy, meaning that sometimes the pacing is extremely slow, but it's so good. Thank you, Echo. Ah, that's the one at the beginning still. That one's okay. You did go forward a little bit, but that's still the early one. Honestly, the very beginning of the Stormlight Archive, though, right from the get-go, is kind of confusing if you've never... Like, that's... I think it's on purpose, right? Like, the prologue? The prologue is definitely kind of difficult to understand when you don't understand all the terminology. You may believe that you've accidentally jumped in the middle of a story. Thank you, Echo. I am very happy with how this thing is turning out. How do we feel about the brown rim? Yeah, me too, Tara. That's basically what I do. I listen to the audiobooks. They're very nice. Michael Kramer and... what's her name? Michael Kramer, the narrator for the male parts in the series, is incredible. Seth, son Volano, wore white on the day he was to kill a king. Like, the pacing of the narrator is sometimes a little slow, but yeah, it's still really good. Black is the only correct color for rims. I have always painted black rims, but maybe I'm gonna try this one out, man. Okay, guys. We have come to the very end of it, and I'm thinking, even though this is kind of a Zergy mini and we have a little bit of creep that he's standing on, I'm thinking of still adding a bit of a plant. Just a little bit. I have a couple of little tufts, so these are kind of fun. These are plastic tufts that you can apply with your girlfriend's eyebrow. Anyways. Yeah, you take a bunch of these. So these are sticky. You have a bunch of different ones too, but these particular ones stick by themselves. And I think the build with these is to just sort of jam them on there and hope for the best. Raid your girlfriend's cosmetics box. That's what I recommend. Add a couple of Q-tips. Maybe a few sponges if they're cheapo ones. Or wife. Or girlfriend, Barnacle. Or wife and girlfriend at the same time. I don't know. I don't know your life. I don't know if grass can grow close to creep, but... Your wife wouldn't be happy if you got a girlfriend? Hmm. A little bit of grass on the base is kind of sweet. Still not sure how I feel about the brown rim, guys. I think I kind of like it. It feels kind of wrong to do a brown rim, but... Is it really wrong if it feels right? It's kind of like an extension of the dirt now, you know? I should paint all of the rims green. That way it looks like the units are selected. Yo! Honestly, not a bad idea. I am going to add a touch of Agrax Earthshade as well to the little plants. Just to make them look a little bit more integrated. Maybe a touch more of like a dry brush as well. Of pink. Pinkish purple. Onto the creep. Just a little bit. And I think I should probably go slightly brighter also on the rocks. The rocks need to be, I think, a little bit brighter still. So I'll mix in a bit of white that I still have on the palette into the gray that I already have here. Some edge highlighting. Following the edges of the rock. Not trying to be too precise, but the lines don't have to be too neat. Just add a little bit more of a precise highlight. Yeah, I think we're coming up on about 6 hours of painting on this one. 5, 6 hours, something like that. The first one will likely be a bit slower than the next. So I don't really have to think about color selection so much, and we can probably do more things right the second time around immediately. For my sake, for my normal, this is like top speed, okay? I've only ever painted minis very slowly. I genuinely think like the other minis that I've painted of this size, like a 32mm, have taken me like 12 hours minimum. Just try to smoothen things out, but I think the result here is good. Not really a whole lot I would change, to be honest. It looks nice, no? Like, I'm looking at my own stream output right now. Yeah, it's a strong one. It's a strong mini. I think we need another coat, though, of the brown outer layer. Golden Demon Bronze? No way, dude. You know how good those guys are? No chance. But pretty good. And this is not following any tutorials or whatever, you know? Like, I'm not following along with somebody else's work. This is color selection and all that from scratch. Okay. Brown was iffy for a moment, but it comes together nicely. Sorry for silently doubting it. That's okay, that's okay. You didn't have to be silent about it. I think I actually need some tiny highlights on the front of the mouth. Like the nose area. A little bit more pink there. Yeah, maybe the carapace is a little bit too orangey. You could make that argument for sure. Maybe the purple is not pink enough, but I think it looks nice. Maybe it's not 100% lore accurate is what I'm trying to say. But I think that's not a problem. Okay. I think one thing we should do, because I was already accidentally chipping a little bit of paint off the rim. I think one thing we should do is add a all-over varnish. So I'm gonna go ahead and move a bunch of these things away here and add an all-over varnish of ultra matte. Maybe not ultra matte, maybe we'll add like a drop of gloss into it. But just to make sure that like the paint is sealed. Because at the moment, that's kind of the downside, right? Like I'm not planning on using these for actual tabletop necessarily, or not anytime soon. I have no plans of that, but maybe it's a good idea to make sure that the paint layer is protected. Doesn't take too much. This has turned out better than I hoped it was going to, so I would like to make sure that the paintwork is going to be reasonably well protected. So you know what that means? It is time for the grand return of the mighty box. The mighty box. Everybody's favorite character of my stream, the cardboard. I expected a lot of excited emojis in the chat, I will be honest with you. You guys don't seem to care anymore about the mighty box. Wait a second. Does cardboard mean nothing to you guys? Is this all meaningless? It's no hairdryer? Yeah, good point. Yeah, you actually bring up a really good point. All right. Airbrush. Look, I'm just dog tired. Wait a second, you're excited but dog tired? Brusik, you had a girl over last night and you're dog tired today? Wait a minute. What are you trying to imply, good sir? Okay, I think what we're going to do is do a little bit of ultra matte varnish, but I also want to add like a drop of gloss varnish in it. We do have to shake the shit out of this because these separate. Luckily, I'm very good with this motion, so that's nice. Mostly because otherwise it's gonna look either glossy or really bad, and we don't want it. Thank you, Aquasteel, for gifting us up to 4A. I think what we're going to do is like 4 drops of ultra matte, and then like 1 drop of gloss. I think that'll do. Why the mix? Because the ultra matte is too matte. Like, it's incredibly matte. A little bit of thinner. One. There's other varnishes out there that aren't quite as matte, but... Come on, buddy. Okay. Yeah, I added a little bit of thinner. I added two drops of thinner. Let it bubble. To mix it in the cup. Just to make sure there's no paint coming out. Okay. I have started varnishing minis that I've finished. Mostly because I have accidentally rubbed paint off of minis that I've finished and it sucks ass. Like, it feels really bad. So it's kind of nice to, you know, just varnish it and get it over with and make sure that it's going to be protected and nice. I do have to make sure that we actually clean this out for a sec though. Just run a little bit of cleaner through it. It also kind of feels like a nice final move, if that makes any sense. Like, just like a nice final thing to do. I feel like it's nice to varnish. It's actually quite common though for people to like go to competitions and not varnish anything. Because it does change the finish of the mini a little bit. So if you've spent like literally hundreds of hours on painting a certain mini, you may not want to alter any of the result. Because like it's gonna look either like a little bit more muted or a little bit more different. Also, like some of the paints, so specifically the washes, the Citadel washes that I use. So the Agrex Earthshade, this stuff. This stuff is very glossy sometimes when it dries. Not all of the time. I can't quite figure out why sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But sometimes it dries very glossy and it just looks weird because now your shadows are glossy. Which is weird. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. Now you could sort that out by, before you brush it on, mixing in like a drop of varnish beforehand. That is something that some people will do, but... All right, here we are. The end result of the first mini of Leicester.